Hello and welcome to another episode of what MacIver draws. Yeah, back again. Feels like it's been ages since the last one. I think my last session was last week sometime. Um, yeah, and we are currently on session 9. So most of my sessions are 4 hours long. So this is taken really long. I think it trained 1 hour so far. I think it's crazy. Before we forget, cheers to another stream. That tea's too hot. Alright, cool. Let's do it. Alright, back on the Photoshop. This is where we left off at. Here's the rough, and now here's clean line art. Let's get rid of the clean line art for a sec, and let's go to our step guide. Just got to make myself comfortable as well. Just arranging. Been doing Blender all week, so my mind's kind of set to Blender. So try and do shortcuts and try and click on buttons. Just, I've still got my mind configured to Blender. I'm trying to use the middle mouse button to zoom in. Right. So brush, move my keyboard. Okay, let's get comfortable. Alright, so where are we? We done clean up part 2, we're on block color. We've done 1 hour of it so far. We're now on session 9. A lot more sessions than I originally thought. Let's move that over there. Yeah, and now on the block color. So before we begin block color, we need to go back to line art very quickly. And my client has noticed a mistake. I've they counted up here. This guy that's holding up this pillar. His thumb's in the wrong place. So this thumb should not be here. I was thinking about redoing this anyway. But yeah, I made a mistake in the anatomy. So there's a top-down view of a person, and the hands are out. Thumbs always are on the inside. Now if it's side on, and the arms across, yeah, that'll mean the thumb's on the inside. So yeah, so that's where I went wrong here. But not only that, this is kind of flush currently to the board, and I don't think if you're holding up, I think it's really difficult for your hands to push flush against a platform if you're holding up like that. If anything, you'll be using the tips of your fingers, so that's also what I need to change as well. I think the finger's too long as well, but it's hard to tell. So the model things need to change it. So firstly, not having flush. across the board. That means you should be able to see more the underside. This is rough currently, so and this where the pump should be on the far side. And then we have that little bit in the middle, don't know, in the palm. When you have the hand, that bit. I don't know what you call that bit. The indent, I suppose. And that line should be there. What number are we on? 3. Good, good, good. That's about right. Oh, we clean this up a lot more. I suppose it doesn't matter too much. Trying to get the impression is the thumbs are going flat against the fingers are going flat against the ledge. Right. Because of that this needs to be changed. The angle needs to be slightly different. Also, this is the small finger. I mean, is the small finger actually going to be able to touch the platform? I don't think it's going to reach it properly. If it does touch it, it's not actually putting much in the way of weight on it. Oh, these are the most dodgiest fingers ever. Just looking at the camera. Yeah, so he's maybe doing like that. I need my glasses to see myself. Also, I think that might be too much of an angle. Oh, this is hard. Hands are hard. I think it's going to be mostly covered. by his palm. Yeah, it's too thick though. But I'm not going to spend too much longer on this. I think it's serviceable at best here. It probably could be better, but it's a small part that's not really going to be seen. Yeah. Alright, let's see about that. Like that. Copy, paste and paste, Control T, right click, flip horizontal. And let's just paste it in here. Line up. There we go. Alright, that's fine enough. I'll go ahead and clean it a bit more. Save. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it was a little better. Still think the face looks odd, but you know what, leave it. Alright, next up. Still on the frame. Watching out for the tangents. So it's going to. Yep, that should be fine. So keeping the tangents in mind. Yeah, that's fine. 5, 4, 3. That's too large. The pen size. So I have to do it again. No. Size is too small. I must have been using a 4 on this last one. Have a look. Yep. Just change the color. Hide that one. Let's do the same for this one as well, just in case. Don't think we need to, but just gonna do it anyway. Yeah, alright, cool. Frame's done. Next up is this kid. Last stream, we were talking about someone out his fingers, and I completely got sidetracked. Let's see what's the frame behind it. So let's go and do that. What number are we? 6. 5, 4. What number are we doing? We're doing 4. Alright. Alright, let's sort his hand out properly. Shouldn't be too hard. I should really zoom out as well. You get the proportions wrong if you zoomed in. Just look at my own hand there. And there's so much gaps here that I haven't done. I haven't filled in properly. Is that right? I don't think that's 100% right. I think this is too large, too wide. But I'm just going to leave it as is. Save. Cool. We're good. Taliban. Oh, yeah, don't do the others. Alright, cool. We've done that. I'm gonna take off. What's next unless I do? Yeah. I'm gonna take off the color for everyone. I'm now going on to the next stage. Coloring in. So I'm just going to get rid of all the color. On everyone. Let me just check that. Yep, I was a bit worried that that layer, the clean line art had white. It doesn't. Why is the frame not colored in 100% then? Come on, try something. Hopefully I should be able to go right up through the leg. No. That's the problem. That means all one is white. It's not just line art, but it's line art plus white. Now is it just line? Problem. Let's get rid of color anyway. I need to find line art or any. Yeah, it was just out there. This is averted. Bubble is a bubble on its own layer. Is a line art by itself, and it looks like it is. Lay it down. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do rough coloring in. I'm going to do the whole thing, And I'm going to color in and get a vibe of how it should look. Amazing. So like I did with the rough at the beginning, I'm going to do a rough color guide. Firstly, before we do that, do those color setups. That's the one we're going with. Value. Layout. Guide. Actually. We'll keep that now. On both for now. Color test, we'll call it. So generally, where is thing gone again? What happens when you have too many vague ideas? Too many layers, it gets harder and harder to figure out where I think is. So it's dark on the outside and it gets lighter on the way in. So we're gonna mess around. We're gonna try and have fun with the colours. Let's get the block down. Actually, let's get everything down. Slow down. Save. So he wants the arch to be amber-like. Let me just show you. So he had this idea of like amber-like. So it might be difficult to pull this off, but we're going to try. So we got reflections on the go as well. But also, like, it goes hues through the rainbow as well that we need to do. Plus, quite a bit of it to be green as well. So, We'll keep that in mind. Let's change brushes. So I'm doing a rough color. This is just a guide through layer 1, so I have no idea what to do. So red's on the far outside and more blue as it goes in. I still know how to get that guide up again. Alright, I'm just having this on the other screen. I'm having this in the other screen. That's like a reference. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm not going to try and try and make it go in the lines. These are all in one layer as well, so I can easily manipulate everything. The back space area, they're more purple, less saturated. Yeah. So I'm going to try and get as close to the colours I want as well. Just have a feel. The space should be pure black. I want to avoid that if I can. I don't want to put it down too much, basically. We can have the bubble light, at least. Maybe we can have it dark on the edges. That might be cool, actually. That will figure out later. Now we use the blend brush. Hopefully this doesn't kill my computer. Did it do anything? Hope that's a brush. Yes. There you go. That's a good one. The blender brush. So I'm blending in the two dark colours. So the purple and the darker purple. I smudge them in, basically. Let's go even darker. Cherry picked this purple. Don't do that. It's good to have like an idea before going in about what the colours are going to be. Otherwise, you spend an age doing the colours on one end, and then basically doesn't match anything else. Just looks terrible. But I also think here there's also white lines. Let's get out the purples. Let's have a blue. Let's have this more blue as well. And more whiter. It's too dark. Just try and go for this as fast as possible. Don't spend forever on this. Yeah, I'm gonna have them have more white actually. Couldn't think about it. Do that. Doesn't matter. Would it? Yeah. Yeah, I do have to have them like that. Mm. Yeah, this is really hatchet. I said this is just a test currently. That now the cards are white. It looks kind of muddy because I've merged a whole bunch of different colors on top, but it doesn't matter too much. That still looks too purple. So kind of half colored this guy in already. I said it's just rough color guide currently. I don't think too much about it. Let's have a darker. It's not the best colour. It's definitely one area that I could improve on. I feel like my drawings end up being too bright. Just quick and dirty. Yeah, it's not looking the greatest. There's a rough guide. Too black. Yeah, well, this looks super rough. Doesn't look the greatest. I think I'm not going to spend age to clean this up because this will need a lot of work, and it's just rough. So yeah, I'm gonna come and do this properly. Let me see something like that. That, but better. It's gonna be my new catchphrase. Well, it's kind of my old catchphrase actually. This, but better. Alright, anyway, stop messing around with that. Let's save. So next up, so I've got a dilemma. I was thinking about it last episode, and it's going to be the case here. Is how do I set up my layers? So can I pull out the layers? Yeah, I can. Yeah. This is my layer list. There's a lot of layers. Let's put that in the middle. We got the clean line art. That's all clean line art. We moved on from the rough. I think we've hidden them all. Yeah, everything there's hidden, so I'll leave that. And then we got the older stuff there, or color setups. So we've got a clean line art. That's what we're working on. But the next stage. Let's get a new layer. Let's put this back. I'll show you what I mean by my dilemma. So get rid of that. And let's go to. So with my layer list, I've got a whole bunch of clean. I've got a clean line art folder, and within that, I've got counters. 1, counter 2, counter 3, etc. And frame and like castle. But basically, they're all kind of in the clean art folder in order, or further in front, going further back. And then below that. Actually, before I do that, but then when you get to each one of these, inside this folder, there's a color, block color of that, of C2. And we got them for everyone. The C1 color, C3 color, frame color, castle color. And now, like, that means these are all nested. These colors are all nested in the folders. So that means when I move C1, the counter, it moves the color together. So they're grouped together. So that means basically if I have a person and then the second layer is color. If I select the folder, then I can move the color and the person. And that's really helpful because let's say you kind of want to move the person over slightly a bit from the main drawing. That's really useful. The problem is, I'll be doing that for everything. This is currently the setup I have, where they're kind of all grouped into their own individual folders. So that's in its own folder as well. So if I wanted to move it, I just select P2 and then move it, and then move the line out with the color. The problem with doing it this way is that if I'm starting to do coloring in and I wanted to jump from C1 and then it's like, oh, okay, I really want to quickly just alter the color of C1 to make me more blue. And then because of that, like maybe the frame looks wrong, so then I have to jump to frame. Then finding it would be really a nightmare. I'll have to go through the folders and subfolders and then find the color, and it's just really annoying. It's basically, and then I have to keep on jumping around. Basically, the colors will be so nested that will make it really annoying to jump between one color and another. So the other option I'm thinking is instead of option 1, option 2, we have clean line. Within that folder, we have the usual C1 line art, C2 line, and C3. But underneath all that, and this is what I normally do, I then have a dedicated color folder. So instead of it being seeded here to another subfolder, I have a completely new folder here. And it's the same again, C1 color, C2 color, frame color, etc. So have the colors in their own folder, and that way if I wanted to jump from one color to another, I can really fast. So that's the perk of that. They're all grouped together, so I know where all the colors are at all times. There might be, if I go back to this one, I might completely forget that I got like C3 color version 10. And there'll probably be a lot going on for all of them. And then you want to do like shading on top of that. And then we'll have more and more sublayers of like shading and light. Whereas here, it's nice and organized. But if I wanted to move the line art, and then and the person, oh, that's good color. I like that. The problem with this option is if I start moving, if I want to move the clean line art, then I can't move the color with him. So for organization's sake, option 2 is good, but it means I have to hard commit to the line art. Oh well, I can move. I can move that around, but as soon as I move that, I'll have to select. I'll have to select that file, and then select the appropriate folder, and then move them both together. But it would mean if I do move them, I'll have to go and hunt down the colors appropriate to that, which is the annoying part. So option 1 allows me to move the line art and color together as a whole. That's the pro. The con, let's do pro. You can move line art plus color easy. Con, binded, nested colors. It's going to be a problem. Whereas option 2, the pro is colors are easy to find, and the con is cannot move. Clean plus color easy. So I have to, it's basically the inverse of the other, right? So either I have the option of able to move a person in color easily, or the option of having access to all the colors easy. I think I might have to go for option 2, purely because if I start doing coloring and then I start doing like the shadows and shading, it's good to have it all in one folder, I think. Non-central. I'd be have to move stuff around, but I don't think I think everything's kind of locked in place, so I don't think I need to move around option 1 much. Anyway, that's a dilemma I have. So I think I'm going with option 2. So that basically means I have to rearrange everything. So it's going to take me 5 minutes. Every block color I've done so far is in it's the option 1. They're within the character. I need to take out those block colors and have it in its own dedicated color folder, basically. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'll put it in the middle so you can see what's going on. So we've got a clean character. And then we've got every individual person. So as you can see here, it's nested. We've got the line of the woman and the colour of the woman. Line of amber, colour of the amber. Line of the boy, colour of the boy. As I'm saying, this is option 1. It's nested. Each of the colours are nested. So I need to pull them out and hopefully do it in a way that doesn't get confusing. Unless I name it first. So if I lose them, it shouldn't be too hard to find. I should call it a block instead of colour actually. I've committed now. It doesn't way around. Let's be consistent. Alright, let's get all these out first. Do I want to subgroup him? No. Let's just make it 2. Actually, no, you what? I am going to do that. Right. So now they're taking out the people. Let's move this into color as well. So it's basically a bit of fiddling around with the layer system. Right, we've got that. We can hide. No, we want these two above. These are only guides anyway. Oh, this is getting annoying. Let's hide that for now. Never. I got another problem. Color always has to go below line art. The problem is these colors are below. This will make option 1 better if I had the colors in the individual lineup, because these meant to be. So even though the people, their line art has to be in front of the color, the frame behind it, that line art needs to be behind the color of the person. There's another option of just flattening the whole thing, or at least a lot of it, and making it more easier. But I think I didn't foresee a problem in option 2. Is I was going to have all line art and then all color, but that can't work because some of the colors need to be in front of some of the line art. So you need to have line art, color, line art, color, line art, color, which is option 1 basically. Yeah, might have to go back. Yeah, option 1. Going back to option 1. And then Alright, cool. So I've reverted because these characters need to be in front of one and all the others. So I'm going to do nested per person. Instead of I could group them all together. So instead of having like a folder per person, I can have one folder for all the people. But then if I need to move around, no, I won't do that. Alright, what time is it? I need a break. This is a headache. I'm reverting back to what I'm doing originally. How I originally had it. Yeah, and then I'll start coloring in properly. So I done Oran, block color on Oran. Let's get him up. So no, I suppose more than just block art. Because not only have I done the block color Oran, but I've done all the individual parts colored in. So this is the next stage. So I suppose it's color in part 2. So the block art, the block color 1 is just doing one solid color, red, for example. And then block color part 2 would be getting the individual elements and coloring them in. Like I have done here with Warren. So I'm basically going to do that with everyone. All 4 characters, and then the frame, and then the thing. That's the fun part. So I'm doing that. But 5-minute break. Yeah, give me 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes and I'll get back to it. All right, cool. See you guys in 10 minutes. Hey, I'm back. Alright, let's get on with this. So basically doing everything block color. Not just block color, but like individual parts. Cool. Let's do it. Okay, let's do the people. I've done Oran already, so it's fine. Frame, there's not much to do there. What's this background about? There's just block color for the background. This layer is now redundant. Need that. We've got to put a marker down for this. This is actually an important one. Others. No, it doesn't. I don't think it's clear enough. You want to name your folders well, so you don't lose stuff if you're trying to look for later. That's why coloring them is good as well. Anyway, let's hide that layer for now. I did not hide it. Why are they still there? Because I didn't put anything in there. Right. Move in. Alright, cool. Let's start. Block color, part 2, individual parts. New layer, mask layer, clip it down one. So the red is the actual window, and what coloring is main content. At this stage, it doesn't matter what color it is still. We'll try and get close to what we want. Now I'll do skin. Hair. Alright, let's try to get a little bit more. I think I have my saturation too high, always. I think that's the problem I have with my colouring. I'm not the best at colouring. I have to what to learn on it. I think the problem is it's too saturated. So turn it down a bit. Alright, cool. That's one down. Next one. And the reason I think I'm not as great at colouring in is because I spent all my life drawing. And at home I always had like paper and pencil and sometimes ink, pen, basically. So I've been drawing for the first 20 years of my life, just practicing on line art all the time. And it's only after like in my 20s that I actually started doing stuff in colour. So I feel like I missed out on 20 years of experience with colour. And then I spent the last 10, 20 years or so learning colour. And I'm better than I was before, but I still feel like it's a problem. But I feel like I made progress on colour recent. So colour theory, I feel like I'm quite fine with. It's just like the execution. There's like in your head how it works, and then actually trying to pull it off just doesn't match. You know, like you think of an idea for like a landscape or something like that, and in your head it looks perfect, and you kind of know how you want it to be, but when you draw it, it's just not the same as how you imagine it. I feel like that's the same with my colour. I have no idea of how I want this to look. Hopefully I'll be able to pull it off. Anyway, I'm at the fun part now. That's a stress. Because even if the colour's not accurate, I can always change it on the fly. You can see the bits of red coming through as well. That's the base layer. And that's a good indication that I didn't colour it in properly. It doesn't matter too much as well. When it comes to the final part, I'll go over manually. I'll flatten the whole thing after a while. So everything will be on one layer. And then I can like clean up a little bit here and there. But let's just clean up what we can. Normally I'd name these individual layers, but there's so many at the moment, I'm just gonna not bother. Look at that line eye, still dodgy as fuck. Look how unclean that line is. This is why sometimes I do clean line art part 2. Could definitely go over the whole thing again and colour it in. But this drawing's taken too long as it is. And I don't think it matters too much. It looks good as is. Oops. Yeah, okay, cool. Next one down. Don't want to do that. That hand looked really good in the end, actually. Quite happy with that hand. Just referring back to my previous image. Also, what color was it? Red. Even though the base layer is red, you still want to paint on top. This is going to be red. I'm just doing a different color so you can tell the difference between this and the underlying red. And that's one. No. So this way, like, I could change. I have just the shirt by itself, then I can change it accordingly. I'll change that later. Get the whole rest of the body in first. save. So yeah, I can't remember if I said it earlier. Her hand's a bit dodgy as well, actually, don't think about it. So I want to do the local color for each of the different parts. So what I mean by local color, it's the color that's like the base color of an object that's not affected by light or darkness or anything really. Is the standard color, because like everything's gonna be like tinted like green or blue or black or whatever later. So you could color this in as if everything is tinted. Like if you're in a red room with a red light bulb, everything, even if it's green, it's gonna be like more closer to red, more darker, and then mix with the green will mix with red. And I could draw what that outcome would be, but that's, you don't have to do that. So that's something that gets applied later. So I draw color in the local color first. The default color it would be. Then later on I'll apply the effects on top. So let's say if there was a red light bulb, then I kind of do the red light on top of everything. Yep, that's good. Now I'll change the red the top to, that actually looks alright as is. Let's see if we can do something else. That looks cool as well. Let's experiment. Nah, kind of like the how it was at the beginning. Yeah, let's have it a bit warm. Alright, cool. The boy done. Let's go back to amber. Probably won't be seeing that hand properly later anyway. Save. We'll keep on saving. Let's make it a little bit different of the color. Keep it up now. Let's do the rest of the body first. Just see how the colours complement each other. Alright, next up, scan through each of the counters. There's like so much that's going on in this drawing. That's why it's taking forever. Like if I was just doing one character, it would have been a lot quicker. It's like an exponential amount of like time it takes to do something like this. This is why it's taking me like 40 hours. 21 hours so far. Because even like that cloth alone is an entire piece. Every person is an entire piece in itself as well. And the frame is an entire piece by itself. All this stuff we probably won't be seeing as well. Actually, you know what? No waistcoat is the same colour as the trousers. What was the colour for her? White, brown. Let's get the brown. Yeah, times now. So 2 hours into the stream. It's just so long. We'll do the baby here as well. All right. So that's all the parts done for the people. The colours are off, I think, but I can change them. So before I go into the next stage, I'll be changing up all colours. So firstly, I'm going to basically do this bow everything in the picture. And then I'll change, I'll treat every colour. So it kind of blends together better. So just blend down all the colour first. Are we okay with that? Mm. Well, we don't need to separate this out different layers, actually. I think I have to colour this all in one go. I want to do the frame, actually. Can't wait to get into the nitty-gritty of it. One thing at a time. Because the thing about doing the shadows and stuff like that, but I can't. I have to keep to my order. Because I could just go in there and like color in the shadows, like every part, and then just do the whole thing, shadows and lights, and that'll be really fun to start doing. But the shadows here will be quite like currently it's kind of like a browny, orangey shadow, so that's quite a warm shadow. Now, if I start doing the shadows here later, it might be different. It might be like off. Ben, did it? It might be off color, so the shadows won't be consistent, and that's a problem. So you got to save the fun stuff until later, once you do everything at once. Yeah. All right. I'll come back to this later. I think I could put more detail into this, more color into this, but we'll do everything else. Yeah, come on with that. Well, riff. It's example maybe. Don't know. Not using it though. No, won't be using these. Why am I? Yeah, you know what? I probably would. No point colouring that in again if it's already there. Probably click more to that. Come back to that later. Alright, cool. So there's all the major bits done. That bubble needs to change it. Color-wise. Let's nudge that down. Alright, let's get rid of that one first in this. Make this a little bit more proper. Just no colour to this. I realise I'm going to have to do background colour first before I do the bubble. Any colour will do. I'm just putting down a colour so I can change it. Let's get rid of the colour now. Well, now let's change the color. We want it to be lighter. Definitely more blue. The problem is I want to go lighter as I go in, but space is black. So there's a contrast there that I need to figure out. We can have a blue at least anyway, so at least we have warm going into cool. And warm is quite like aggressive color. Reds are quite aggressive and blue is quite passive. So thematically kind of works. Going to a safe place, going from the fires into a quiet place. Alright, let's do the block color of the whole bubble. Also, that's red, that needs to be blue. And then we take the saturation out, so there's only a hint of blue. This landmass will change. Also, the further back it is, more desaturated might be good. Or shall I have it more saturated? And the people less saturated. If it was more saturated, then it kind of brings the attention. Oh, I don't know. Do I need to change the saturation? Doesn't matter. Probably does, but it's too much to think about. I can't be asked to think about it. Let's have a bluey white. So I'm basically block coloring in the castle, so it's not going to actually stay this color. I'll probably have it more white in the end, silvery white. Save. This process will get faster as I go on as well. So the rough line art is at the concepting stage, and I spent quite a long time with that, but that was naturally going to be the longest part. And I think as soon as you go through each step's going to be faster than the last. So yeah, hopefully it won't be too much longer. But I feel like you're going through each stage fast. The problem is going to be like the major problem will be just after this. And there's not much to do with the colors now. But then I have to like settle on what colors to choose. So I'll be after I've done this, I'll be messing around with each of the colors and trying to make them harmonize with each other. And that'll be the trickiest part for me. I'm not the best at color, and they could be might not look right. I'm a bit worried about it. Once I've done that, then I move on to light and shadow. And that should be a lot more easier. Not just light and shadow, but like also the more detailed color. Just go in there and do the details. Oh shit. Castle, we're just in castle. Zoned out a bit there. One last time. So this is just a castle for now. It would have been better like last time to actually do lasso, select the whole thing and color it in. Yeah. So already gone into detail coloring this. I'm just doing it a second time over. It's a bit of a waste of my time. Should have done separate them out last session, and I did lasso. So it's probably another like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I could carve this stream, this drawing. Maybe we can have a crystal in the middle here, like a diamond. That might be cool. Just something to like draw the eye into the center of the drawing. It could be like the shape of the castle, like a diamond shape inside the castle. Yeah, I don't think I need to do this. I could just like use the last layer and just lasso it out. Nah, it's probably best not to. I think I lassoed out the section I did already. I just have a separate layer. But I can't like it on top of the previous layer. Right. You're not gonna notice how white it is if the bubble's too white itself. I'm already starting to fiddling around. You never want 100% white. Yeah, it's close. Cool. Save. Okay, cool. Next, so let's do a bit more on this island. Let's get the earth in. Should probably hide all around. I'm already indecisive about what to do for the next stage. Like going into detail. Like, how do I approach it? I don't know. This stage is the hardest stage. Well, like I'm all into the hardest stage. I think it's a little bit difficult trying to figure out the best course of action. Because I also want to change out all the line art as well to a different colour. I'm just thinking about my game plan and trying to figure out the best way of approaching it and having a headache thinking about it. Let's do one thing at a time. I feel like going back to one of my earlier drawings, my time lapse on YouTube, and see how I did it. There was a drawing I did about 10 years ago. And I think that is just like less layers. I think I did a rough guide and then basically just did it all on like the second go. Like, didn't divide them all up into different color parts. Just went straight in and colored. Where's the theme? Where's the land? Do we need that? Let's delete that, don't probably need that. Extra. These are completely animals. What color am I having? Save again. Trees. Trees now. That's what I've done. It gets too confusing. cliff. Yeah, let's have the same color. Don't need to do every part, but I'll just try and get the major ones in. Yeah, that's looking cool. Sand. Next. All this can be changed later. Just getting an idea down. Click now. You know what? I feel like I can merge some of this stuff down. Let me get the colors correct first before doing that. This is a mammoth undertaking, this whole project. It's only now I just realised how much of how much work needs to be done. Yeah, we'll sort it out later. Right, well, we've got the block colours in. Everything was fine, apart from... Oh, wait. One more. Water. So doing the entire scene now. And because it's transparent, I'm gonna lower the opacity to this. Make this layer transparent in a sec. I'll probably be messing around with either opacity or layer types, layer styles. Like either multiply or one of the others. We'll experiment. I think that's water. Right, there's water. Right, let's try the different ones. The layer styles. We got normal, dissolve, darken, multiply. Overlay is quite cool. Soft light as well. Hard light's really good. Oh, that's cool. Linear light. Color. Let's go up to multiply. And then load the opacity, see how that looks. By the way, when I say layer style, it's over there. Let's take out layers. See there where it says normal? That's what I'm changing. Yeah. You go down the list and change. So if you ever seen Moss Draws, he always bangs on about color dodge. That's color dodge. That's something I will be doing as well, but that won't be happening until later. That's one of the effects that happen at the end. Multiply is mostly used most of the time. And soft light. No, overlay. Sorry. But it's quite contextual. So no. That's multiply. So multiply is on. Let's lower the transparency. No, doesn't work. It's too dark. The color's too brilliant. There was another one else. Overlay. So it blued up the brown that's underneath it. Or soft light. Linear light was never a good one, wasn't it? Do you want 100% blue? Overlay. Yeah, let's take overlay. Transparency. Can't really see the water actually. Maybe just go with lowering the opacity or something. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so I did the ground underneath. You won't be seeing it. And I put like a water layer on top, but kind of had it half transparent, like water normally is. So the blue of the half transparent water is on top of the brown rock, which gives that kind of effect there. Yep, getting there. So I think that's all the major parts of this. And then we once we've done this, we do a deep dive later. But the trees look too bold, too brilliant. So we need to desaturate it. Nope. Increase the lightness. Yeah, and also the lake as well. It's the same thing. Yeah, tone it down a bit. Actually, if we get it looking like this sea, that'd be really cool. You know what? It should be 100% the same as the sea. Let's do it. So I've got to remember what the opacity was at. It was like 59, I think. Yeah. Cool. Cool, yeah, so I toned down the trees and now what's a lot better. So it's still flats. So that's the bubble done. Oh, I'm getting pretty hungry now. How long is the stream? 3 hours, 40 minutes. Yeah, I might not go on for the whole 4 hours. Getting fatigued. Let's just try and clean up everything else and then see how it goes. So fiddled around with the colours for the castle bubble. Now I've got to do the same for the people. I did the block colour for the people. The individual parts, and now I've got to try and make it more harmonised. And first things first, the problem, saturation. Revenue. Don't know what happened. Yeah. I think the boy's the biggest problem at the moment. Yeah, let's try and make more reds actually. Trying to think about. This is the fiddly bit now. Cool. Too red. It's clashing with the frame, but I can change the frame. Yeah, anything about that's cool. Is that blue actually? Let's lower the saturation. Yeah, I think she's alright. Jake. Can we warm it up a bit? I don't want the base color to be too red because I plan to put a red filter on top of it all, and it might end up doubling up and look bad. But you still want to kind of have it in a range that's all quite similar to each other. The woman on the far right is cool. The woman on the far left, I think, still needs a change. The hair looks a bit too purple. Yeah, just lower the colours a bit. So the red hairs here is clashing with the floor, but the whole thing's not meant to be one colour anyway. Let's separate it out into its individual parts. Also, one thing to do. Delete that. Brightness contrast, no, black and white. Oh. We want to raise this as high up as possible. So that's how it looks, black and white. So the whole thing's just been made black and white with the colours there. So we are good. This is kind of like what we wanted on the original There's the color test. Where's the value guide? In the top right corner here. This is our game plan to have to have dark around the edges and light as it goes in, and all around needs to be really dark actually. And this how it actually looks. So the one's not as dark. Actually, we can compare that to the and let's have second counters in as well. Maybe the background needs a bit lighter. Just duplicate this in case there's a problem. Right, let's change the brightness contrast to it. So matching the grey to the example. Let's have that as violet, and that means the bubble itself. The main part. Increase the lightness of it. Once I take off the black and white, I don't even know if the color's going to work. Fingers crossed. So now I've altered. And let's take off the black and white and see how it looks. Oof. No. The bubble looks good actually, but that background is not. Can we raise it down? How do you make a dark black universe lighter? That still looks like a dark black universe. We'll have to do some trickery, I suppose. So the universe is black or dark, but as you go into the bubble, the bubble emanates a glow, which kind of makes the light around the universe glow. Let's get that saturation down. Yeah, let's remove the saturation. All right, let's try this. Let's black and white. Yeah, that works better. I think it's a little bit darker. It matches, unfortunately, it matches the frame, but I'll make the frame darker. So this is like the tweaking of colors now to get the values correct. But I think the bubble and the frame is going to be hard to get the colors right. Sorry, the bubble and the universe. The frame is not going to be that difficult. This needs to be darker. See how that looks. No. Make more red. See how that looks. Yeah. Yeah, it's darker. It's a weird thing with color theory. Not all colors are born equally. So the light range of different colors, I don't know how to like describe it properly, but basically, if you get like your average red color and then make it black and white, it'll be darker than your average green or blue. They lie in different parts of the spectrum of light. So your average red, a lot of reds are always naturally dark in comparison to blues and greens, greens especially. I think, and I don't know how to explain it better than that. I'm not an expert. Like I'm not a scientist. Like I'm just an artist. It's like wavelengths and shit like that. There's like a graph, like a triangle graph, and the different colors in different parts of the graph indicating their wavelengths. Yeah, it's complicated. I don't even fully understand it. I just know naturally reds are dark and greens are and blues are naturally lighter. So I think we're good on matching the thumbnail, which was going to be the hardest thing to do. That thumbnail, what I wanted was a dark border and then light as you go in. So that kind of brings in the audience as that complements the draw and the line art, and in turn complements the story. So the story is meant to tell about this portal open up going into a fantasy world, where all your dreams and hopes become real. So to create a story about, to create a drawing about that, first you got to figure out the line art and thinking about the composition. And what I done was basically have a character in the middle, bottom, in the bottom third, basically kind of pointing towards the center of the image. So it's kind of cylindrical, and you're kind of going in through a tunnel. So now with the colors, you kind of want to complement that with the warm colors on the outside going in, directing the viewer into the center. The client basically wanted me to focus. There's a lot of stuff you could focus on here. One of being a portal, the kind of what would you call it? What's the film term? The MacGuffin. Would it be the MacGuffin? Yeah, I suppose it is. The MacGuffin that like leads into the inciting instant. Like into the other world, into the second act. is the frame. So you can have a focus on that being like the door to the fantasy world, or you can have a focus on Oran, who's kind of the Willy Wonka-esque character that leads a whole bunch of people into this other world. Or you can focus on the bubble, which is like this is the fantastical world that your journey is going on. Or you could focus on the humans who are going on an adventure if you wanted more of a character study. And we got the two girls, Amber and I can't remember the other one. Is also focus. So you got like a potential of 4 different focuses you can focus your story on, and with this drawing, potentially 4 different ways you can focus your drawing. So I spoke to the client, and he said specifically they wanted the world, the universe, to be the focus. So I thought like Oran is quite like an important character as well. So I've used Oran as like an instrument to guide the audience and the lead characters through the end of Act 1 into Act 2, the other world, the magical world, the fantasy world, and and the focus being the bubble. So that's why the bubble's white. If we look at on the screen here, the value range. So we can't like draw the audience in. So the outside, the borders are dark and red, warm, into this. This is the normal world, and we're getting pulled in by Oran. Your eyes being guided into the center image of the world, with the colors changing going in as well. We're going from warm to cool, and then so that's also the colors are also guiding you, as well as Oran, and as well as the composition, the circular composition of the world going in. So now I've got the colors to complement the line art, which was going to be really fucking hard to do, and I think it's come out all right. So that is my theory behind what I'm drawing. So that's that done. So undo that. The next challenge would be when I actually start going into detail and start actually coloring in proper. It might pull away from these actual colors. It might end up getting too light. Like let's say I start introducing too much yellows and greens, it might lighten up the frame. That might be bad. So I'll have to keep on reverting back to my grayscale drawn. So just try and think of the next stage. So are we done on this stage? No, we're not. I wanted to break down the frame into its own parts. I don't think there'll be much here then. Right, fine. Let's get started. Do I have any tea left? I've got cold tea. Yeah, it's not good. Right, it's 3 hours into the stream. I'll probably be finishing up soon. Right, let's do the base. Warm as well. It's still going to be the same color. It's still going to be the same material. So we don't really need to change color for that. Now let's do. I'm finding it difficult to find things to do for this. I think I might just leave it. for when I come to do the main color. This jumping into the next stage is tricky for me personally. I'm not 100% sure best way to tackle it. Well, I got only think of a way to do it. I haven't really given it thought. I suppose in a second we'll have to think about it. It's something on lines of sorry, I'm thinking before I talk. I'm basically going down a pathway of what I'm actually going to do. That's why I stopped there. What's the next stage? Detailed coloring in. Do I do shading? But I have to flatten all the colors basically. What I'm thinking is now that all the colors are like, let's say the person, any one of the people, I put different layers for different colors. Because once the colors are done, I could then start playing with them and see how they match. And not only that, what you saw me just do now was match every color compared to every other color. Like the universe, like seeing how that compared to everything else. So I create these block colors in different sections so I can able to do that properly. Now that I've done that, I could probably flatten them and then start coloring them in proper. Before I do that, I could this lineup. Basically, it's all black. The whole thing's black. It's a good start off with black, but now I'm actually going to color in. Start coloring in. I am going to change the line art to a different color. I'm thinking about now. I think the people are stuck in place. Like, I think I'm not going to move anyone around. I think I'm quite happy with that. Anything else? Let's do them. Some parts of their statue. Yeah, what was I saying? Is that too dark? I think everyone, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think everyone is in place. So that means I can all the line. I got like all different line arts. One line up for the frame, one line up for the bubble world, one line up for the Oran, and 6 line arts for each of the characters. I done them individually so I can move them around if need be. But now I feel like maybe I can like merge them together as one. The worry about merging together as one is that I won't be able to move them around, but I don't think I need to anymore. So I might do that. Because I think I'll have to do that before I start colouring in the lines. Although I could colour in the lines separately. It's 10 line arts, then ain't it? 6 for the people, 1 for Oran, 7. 1 for the frame, that's 8. 1 for the bubble, that's 9. Am I going to move anyone around? A bit worried because it's kind of like a hard commit. but I can just like save it under a different Photoshop file name. So if worse comes to worse, I can actually just revert back to an older Photoshop file. But I'm not going to move the people around, right? Yeah. Safe bet. I would save on the Incarnal Score Part 2 Photoshop file. I can get rid of all the dud files as well. And that way I can merge the line art, the clean line art, and then color it in as a whole, the line art. Yeah, I'll do that. Save. So at the moment I'm just doing the border of this stained glass window. This is not the colour set in stone, or set in amber, pun intended. Is that a pun? I don't know. And then I'll change out the colour in a sec. It's quite cathartic just colouring this in, because as I said, I could have just lassoed it and coloured in quicker, but it's relaxing. Doing something that you don't have to think about. I already just done a whole bunch of thinking about colours, and I can now move on to a more relaxing stage. I'm also like zoning out here as well. It's like what I did with the landscape earlier. When I was colouring the castle, I just kept on colouring in. It was like get this zone out here so much. Hopefully I'm doing it right. All the parts I should do. Yes. I've been quite close to the colour I want anyway. Just gonna line up a bit. No? Ooh, that's cool. Maybe. We definitely want to try and aim it for more darker than more lighter. Keeping in mind that like the borders are meant to be dark and it goes light into the middle. Alright, cool. Moving from this. I was a bit stressed about this earlier, trying to figure out what to do, but now I know where to go. This is, I think they said, do you remember like a previous stream I was saying that there's kind of a glue that holds this together? Stained glass windows. There'll be planes of glass that are kind of glued together. And I didn't know what they were. What was it glued with? So I spoke to my partner and she told me it was lead. So they used lead to glue this together, which I did not know. So it's a fun fact. I think naturally these are darker. But like for artistic license, I want to avoid it getting too dark. Did I? I was thinking about changing those 3 animals to another 3 animal to stop the repetition. I might do that. I could still go back and change it. What 3 animals? Cat, dog, hamster. I might do that. Just like, because like these animals here are kind of like badass kind of stuff you see on the heraldic crests and stuff. And it's kind of like what you expect to see kind of stuff. And it'd just be funny on the other side, you got like pets as like a contrast. I don't know, just brainstorm. Well, what other animals? If I was going to keep with the like badass like heraldic symbols, then I suppose lion would definitely be one of them. The unicorn's a symbol of Scotland. Lion is a symbol of England. What was Ireland? Does Ireland have an animal? What about France? Do they? There's one. Alright, what about animals? What are some badass creatures? We go with eagle, America's eagle, so we can have a bird of prey. Maybe, yeah, maybe an eagle. Not an eagle, but like a bird of some kind, like a crow. That'd be cool. Lion. China. We have well, when I thought China, first thing I thought was dragon. Although dragons are basically in every country. Should we have dragon? We can have dragon and a bird of some kind. Dragon might be cool, actually. And also, like, England has dragons. Wales is dragon as well. Forgot about that. Everyone forgets the Welsh. Hippo. Most deadliest land mammal, right? Shark. Whale. Just thinking of like dangerous animals. Kangaroo. Just draw a kangaroo on the other side. That would be too funny. A kangaroo, a cat, and I was thinking of joke animals, but then I thought badger. I was like, actually, badger might be alright. Actually, it's quite English. Frog, toad. Oof. Actually, you know what? I just copy and paste on the other side. I don't know why I colored the other side earlier. And they're exactly the same. Let's do that. Control C, Control Shift V. Nope, that didn't work. Is it Control Alt V? Nope, look down there. Paste in place, Shift Control. I did that. Don't know why it's going up there. Rotate, flip. Just line it up manually. Is that right? Yep, I suppose it's about as close as I can get. Yeah. Just fill in the changes. Did I not color this bit on the other side? I'll take a look. Nope, completely forgot to do it. That stained glass needs to be transparent. Actually, come to think about it. And I do it. I definitely have to be on this end there. Right, I might, next session I might actually change the animals up. So leave a comment if you manage to get a comment in before start next session. Let me know what animals you want. That's if it can be asked as well. I might last second decide not to. What's going on here? This leads into the wood, which it shouldn't do. Yeah, let's get a clean line. Good, that's fine now. That's inconvenient. Save again. Man, I can't wait to start doing the shadow for the frame. Like, actually start colouring them properly. It'd be so fun. What else are we doing now? Just do a bit of cleanup. I might do stained glass on its own separate layer. Yeah. How am I doing this? So I'm going to be a bit unorthodox. Yep, that's fine. So I'm thinking of deleting. See the amber here. I'm thinking about like deleting all this area where the stained glass is. And have that all on a separate layer. So that when I do the stained glass, I can make it transparent and actually bleed through the background. It's going to take me a bit more time to do that now. Because I have to go in there and manually change it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to create good art piece here. God, this is no. I could just do a magic wand tool, but I never like the accuracy of the magic wand tool. Is there a shine behind it then? No. Hold on. If I am going to do delete, then it needs to. I can't do it here because if you look. So I'm going to get rid of all this stained glass bits here, just so I can have it on a different layer and I can make it transparent. So I'm basically deleting the framework that's covering the stained glass when it shouldn't. But if we see here, there's actually the frame in the 3-dimension. These lines go all the way across here because this thing. Let's undo all this. Yeah. So I don't want to be deleting any of the orange here, but I do want to be deleting the orange here, but not here. So everything left of this line, I'm not going to delete. Everything on the right of it, I am. And that's because if you look at the arch, 3 dimension. Let's do 3 dimensional. This is a really rough 3 dimension as well. Don't see me. I hate getting sued for not having my perspectives correct. So there's 3 dimensional version of what we have. Actually, this is a rough guide, don't have to be accurate. Come on. So the light at the bottom is there. So it's not at one end. But more importantly, the bit we're talking about is this here, the stained glass. I think you can see mostly here how it plays out. But in the 3 dimension, it is not at the very front of the arch. The stained glass, if we have this as a guide, yeah, so it's not as at the front, as I said. It's actually in the middle. Now we're not coming out of that. You know, probably it'd be like that. So that means the arch technically still coloured in there, but we're still coloured in on the back end as well. And that back end is this line here. Actually, it'll probably be more like here. That means all this stuff is not going to be deleted because it's still behind the stained glass is still framed. So let's keep that in mind. So I'm deleting the amber stained glass and having it its own layer. Before I do that, this universe. Let's have a cover out the whole thing. At least beyond the stained glass. All the other colours are on top, but just want that there. I don't need to do this bit. Why am I doing it? Okay, back here. Back to deleting. And I won't bother drawing a line out for it. Because it's behind the stained glass. Oh wait, it's not. Then it doesn't. Yeah. I just don't want to do. It gives the extra sense of it being like transparent in the background if there's no line art to match it. So none of these, that's not going to get wiped out because we still have arch behind it, but these do. I'll have to fill these back in again as well. I think I've just added an extra hour to my art piece here. God. Am I doing this to myself? I could have probably done a different method. Or I could have just chose not to do it like this. And like faked it and just drew it as if it was transparent. Let's do the others here. Probably gonna regret this. I'm probably not seeing something. Let's get the other layers back on actually. Save it. What time is it now? 3 hours, 35 minutes into this stream. The last 2 hours has flown past actually. I am quite happy with it at the moment. I am past the point of stress. And I said earlier, it's like when it comes to art pieces, sometimes you just like bogged down and trying to figure out what to do. And then you have to sit and think about it and actually use your brain. And that could be, well, stress is probably one word to use, but like just taxing, I suppose, is a better word to use. Now, once the decision is made, you can then just do the chore with it. Just like delete stuff and color stuff in. So I'm not doing a rough guide where this art should be. I'm just using intuition here. I'll take a look at, I'll zoom out later and see if it looks alright. So yeah, we kind of create a window now. So we're deleting the arch around the stained glass. So when we do put in the stained glass, we now have a nice transparency effect. So I'm just erasing away the arch now. If I make a mistake, I can always put it back in. It will be a lot easier to put it back in than it is to take it away. Or it'll be a lot quicker to put it back in than take it away. How does it look? Yeah, that's about right. Maybe a little bit more. And the client's getting his money worth for this. Yeah. Then we could copy this over to the outside. I suppose I could use magic wand tool. Nah. Yeah, there probably is a way to do it, but it sounds like a bit of a headache to figure out. Which I can't be asked to do. The sun's come up now as well. I can't see my monitor too well now. I might call it quits in a sec. Since the sun's out, I can't really see much. And since I can't close the end of the stream, I might call it. So how does this work? Are we still having... Would it be something like that, maybe? Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I think I delete all. Bit rough. But I can always clean up properly later. Question is the middle stained glass as well? Or is it just part of the piece? I might make it part of the piece. So no transparency. So like part of wooden. Oh no, I'm getting fatigued. Let me wrap up. I'll just do this circle and call it. I think I made a mistake here. Just put that back. Yeah, you can see now how that works. And yeah, you have to continue on the right side as well. Yeah, that has to be there, yeah. Cool. Okay, well, I'm just looking at it without doing much. I tend to just look at my drawing all the time without doing anything. All right, cool. We'll leave that there. Just getting through it. All right, let's take a look with everything in place. Warren. Clean counters. His face looks built. I'm looking at my monitor, my main monitor, not my pen tablet. My normal monitor colors are all weird. So I'm looking at this with my normal monitor and it looks wrong, but my pen tablet looks right. Let me know what you think. Is that too yellow? Is that face too yellow? That face. It's fine on my pen tablet. It doesn't look as yellow on the pen tablet. Anyway, cool. Let's leave it. I prematurely put my pen away now, actually. 1 hour 45. Let's do 1 hour 45. 3 hours 45, sorry. So this session 9 is 3 hours 45 minutes. '23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, did I math that right? I suppose we're still on 4, aren't we? So total this is, we've only done 1 hour block, but now it's 4 hours 45. So I smashed my new estimate. New estimate. What are we on? 27 hours. Didn't realize it's gonna be this long. I'm not gonna be finished next stream. Two more streams beyond this. 4, 8, 12, another 12 hours. Another 12 more hours. Oof. Right, let's give ourselves something stupid. 40-hour estimate. Yeah, and we are still doing. I told this in already. Still, let's get a red power. Yeah, still doing block color. Although we're getting close to the end of it already. We're actually very close to the end of that actually. And then full colors next, which is going to be the fun one. I'm thinking now shadow might have to come up before. Kind of these three kind of go hand in hand. Trying to do them simultaneously a bit. Alright, figure out. Yeah, cool. For now, block color. I'm about to finish that. Alright, cool. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I've done another couple more hours on it, getting through it. It's getting faster, I feel. It's once it starts coming together, yeah, I have more of an understanding of how it should look. It'll be easier as it goes on. Just did a whole bunch of thinking about what colors to do. I'm happy with it, but it could still mess up. Might still have to go and change it later. As a play by ear. So yeah, thanks for watching. Next stream, I'm not sure when. Next art stream at least anyway. Maybe next week. If it's next week, it's beyond Tuesday. I think I'm busy up until Tuesday. But yeah, just keep an eye out on Twitch. My bio. Yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to head over to my Twitch. And if you're on Twitch, you can see the other parts of my YouTube channel, which is also in my bio. Link is in the bio. Cool. So thank you for watching, and see you guys soon. Bye.